The Alliance is a national organization of a range of different stakeholders from the field of workforce development. So business leaders, labor leaders, community-based organizations, community colleges, and people from the local workforce and higher education systems who've all come together to kind of change the way our nation invests in people so that we can get more workers the skills they need to succeed in today's economy, and more U.S. firms the skilled workers they need to compete in a global economy. So I want to thank all of you for coming today, braving both the weather and the national sports press swimming around the Capitol Hill today, and to talk about an issue that I think is infinitely more important, and I'm glad that we're going to have an opportunity to talk to you today about how it is that we should be investing in our local industries and growing local firms by investing in people in our communities through a variety of different kinds of strategies. Today you're going to hear from some very successful programs that have been doing just that over the past several years. In the field of workforce development, this is known as sectoral strategies or sectoral workforce development. And in a word, you're going to learn a lot about them today, but in a word, what they do is they engage a range of firms within a local industry. They bring together all the stakeholders who have some stake in that industry, including local community organizations, local colleges, local labor training funds, and together they come up with a plan for how it is that they're going to meet that industry's needs, create new skilled worker pipelines to meet skill shortages within that industry, plan for how we're going to grow that industry by using the skills of local people to develop new market niches, and ultimately to bring greater prosperity to their local communities. And you're going to hear from 3 programs today that have done an excellent job of that kind of work, and they are just 3 of several that are documented in a report that was recently released by the Aspen Institute. There are copies of it in the back of the room, and there's a summary of it in the folders that you picked up when you walked in, called Sectoral Strategies for Low-Income Workers, Lessons from the Field. And you're going to hear from the author of that report, or one of the authors of that report, Maureen Conway, who is at the Economic Opportunities Program at the Aspen Institute, and 3 of the programs that have been featured in that report, Susan Crane from Port Jobs in Seattle, Washington, Pam Egan from Nevada Partners, which is affiliated with the Culinary Workers Union in Las Vegas, and Ray Prendergast at the Jane Addams Resource Corporation in Chicago. You're also going to be hearing from Rachel Gregg, who's the Federal Policy Director of the Workforce Alliance, to talk a bit about what federal policy currently is not doing to encourage the kind of work these folks have been doing within their communities over the past several years, and how it is that we as a nation should be looking more critically at what we're doing with our workforce policies and more broadly with our economic policies in order to be able to encourage the kind of work that has been happening in the communities that we're going to be talking about today. I also want to thank Senator Maria Cantwell from Washington State, who was going to join us today, but unfortunately because of scheduling conflicts is not going to be able to join us. We may be able to hear from her office somewhat later in the program, depending on some scheduling issues. But Senator Cantwell has been a long-time champion of sectoral efforts. In fact, she has been trying for years to take the lessons learned in Washington State with its statewide system of industry skill panels and trying to bring that into federal legislation in a variety of different ways. Most recently with a bill that she's developed to supplement some of the work being done around trade adjustment assistance to help trade-impacted communities think about how it is that they can invest in declining industries or to save or to transfer workers from declining industries into new growth industries within trade-impacted communities. And so we want to thank Senator Cantwell, who's been sponsoring this event today, and we look forward to continuing to work with her office on those issues.